Man, what's up, guys? What's going on? What's good, bro? Crazy week that we got. Crazy week in the markets. This is actually gonna be the I appreciate that, man. I am. I'm not even gonna joke about that. In due time, more people gonna realize that. But we got a crazy week in the markets, not just in the markets, but what's up, bro? Not just the markets, but also in the financial world overall. The reason why is because this is earnings week, and on top of it being earnings week, we also got the we got GDP release is going to be on Thursday. We also got FOMC release is going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. in which the Fed is going to be raising rates. They're looking to raise it by 75% basis points, or 75% basis, which is 0.75% of a hike that they're going to do for. And then, as I said, so then we got Thursday is going to be the GDP. But it's actually very interesting that we got this coming week. Matter of fact, I'll go straight into it because I don't want to be on here for crazy long. I know I say that all the time, but I'm actually very serious this time. I'm completely serious. It is 7:02, so I want to stay on here till 7:25, and I'm really gonna stick with that. But yeah, before we get started with all of that, if you guys are looking to become more profitable, you guys looking to become take your skills to another level, join my Discord, link in the description below. You can click on my bio right there. I also have my Ethereum giveaway challenge, which is still open. So if you guys are looking to enter in a chance to win an entire Ethereum coin, you guys can enter my Discord for that challenge. And then also, I think I said as well, I'm going to be doing a monthly giveaway challenge on my Discord. So every month, this is for my Discord members only. It's going to be a challenge. I'm not sure which coin is going to be, but it's pretty much going to be whatever I feel is the importance for that month in my head. So, see, I'm stuck on for next month. I'm stuck on giving away, Poly or give away XRP or Ripple. I'm not sure which one of the two. I shouldn't be saying it out loud. What am I doing? But all right, let's go straight into it. Yeah, as I just said, this is going to be a very important week. Again, this is going to be earnings week, so you have majority of the major banks, a lot of companies as well. They're going to be giving their earnings out, which is going to dictate how the market is going to be moving. Mainly because of the fact that, again, those are the fundamentals. So as you guys are aware or not aware, so you have technical analysis and you have the fundamentals. So technical analysis, it tells you where the market is going, right? So you have traders who look left, so this is where the market is going to go towards the right. And then you also have, what's up, fam? And then you also have fundamentals. Fundamentals is the news. Now, some traders like to use one or the other, as well as some analysts as well. I think it makes sense to use both of them together, and I think the reason why is because fundamentals tells you when to get into the market, which is the news, right? And technical analysis shows you where the market is going. So it's very simple to identify what each of they are. It's very not complicated, people make it seem as if it is. For starters, again, if the market is dropping, right? Let's say the market is tanking, and people are like, what the hell is going on? Why is it tanking, right? The fundamentals is the reason why. So we can have like CPI come out, or a company missed their earnings, right? These are fundamentals that happens at a set time already already in exchange, right? So let's say if we already knew that GDP is going to be on Thursday. We already know that FOMC is going to be tomorrow, right? These are things that's going to be already in place. So you're aware, as an investor, they're aware that, okay, I'm looking, they're looking to raise rates or looking to drop rates, or regardless of what they're looking for, these are things that's set in time or beforehand. And all you got to do is you can go to you can go to yahoofinance.com, you can go to investing.com, CNBC, and you can just look at their earnings calendar or their economic calendar. And then from there, and a lot of times, people find it complicated to read, but it's really not that difficult either. Majority of the time, you have red folders, you have red folders, yellow folders, and orange folders. Red folders mean that that's going to be high impact news. You have orange folders, that's going to be medium impact, and you have yellow folders, that's pretty much it's just news, but it's not going to really determine a huge volatility of a market, right? So if you're looking for a market to let's say drop or rise 5% or more, you're not going to get that on a yellow folder or orange folder, right? You get that on a red folder because it's more high impact. So that's pretty much the aspect of that. And again, as a technical analysis trader, right, you're reading the markets, right? So that's determining, the candlesticks, which if you guys look on like CNBC or things like that, you'll see like a rectangle and a green rectangle, right? Those are candlesticks. So red would be bearish, which means price is lower than when it opened. Green would be bullish, which means price is higher than it opened. So example of this as well. So let's say if price opened up if a candle, which is price, right? If it opened up at 5 and it closes for that time frame, if it closes at 7, technically 7 is higher than 5. So that would be a green candle would make it bullish, right? And if it's a red candle, let's say if price opened at 7 and then during that time frame it closed at 2, right? 2 is lower than 7. So if it opened at 7 and closed at 2, that would make it bearish because it's lower than when it opened up at. But before I actually dive deep into it, I have to give a disclaimer. Everything that's being said today is for entertainment purposes only. Do not act on any of these things without first considering your own financial advisor or doing your own research. So now that that's out the way, first, as I said, I do want to go over earnings week because it's very, very funny that when we're in a recession, and I told you guys every single week, a lot of people are kind of debating, are we in a recession or not? Some people feel as if we're not in a recession. Some people feel as if we may be going into one. We're dead in a recession. So it's just like, you don't have to wait for them to announce they're in a recession for us to clearly see they're in a recession, right? So it can be your overall life can be in a recession, which that happens a lot for a lot of individuals. It can also be the fact that you just see how things are that we're in a recession. But bottom line, we are in a recession. However, the actual definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of back-to-back negative GDP, which is negative growth. So the thing about it is that, and this is funny game that's going on. So the White House, what they're doing, they're actually changing the rules to how they're working about identifying what a recession is. So they're saying that a recession is no longer 2 negative back-to-back quarters of negative GDP decline, which is foolish. But I understand why they're doing it because at the end of the day, they're losing power, right? So they want to maintain their power, and if they're in office and we're in a recession, it doesn't look good for them, right? So if they're already losing power right now and they're trying to get more power, they got to switch some things around. So it's actually very funny because I was in my Discord talking. I think it was last week I was mentioning. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and try to do something to say we're not in a recession, but we're dead in a recession. I think Biden came out yesterday, said that, don't worry, we're not even close to the recession. And it's just very interesting because these are just the mind games that they play. Like at the end of the day, if they were honest to the American people and they say, yo guys, we're fucking up right now, shit's going to get worse before it gets better, then that'll be more realistic. However, again, they don't want to look bad, right? Because especially if you're saying that, Trump is bad for the economy, all this and that such, and now you come into office and then we're in a recession while you're in office, that doesn't look good. So it's very funny how they go about the wordplay, as well as not even just the wordplay with that, but in general, right? So we also got the fact that, added to that, notifications keep coming up. So we also got the fact that it's going to be set in stone, right? The Atlanta Fed, they're already projecting that. Atlanta Fed, they also help out with determining what GDP is, right? So they also, for this coming Thursday, because that's when the GDP is going to be announced for quarter 2. For this coming Thursday, they're looking for a negative 1.5%. Is it negative 1.5? Yeah, negative 1.5% GDP growth. So off rip, quarter 1 was negative. So if they're projecting that we have a negative growth, that alone is going to say that we're in a recession. The thing about it is that I feel that what they're going to try to do is they always revise these things. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to, if the expectation is 1.5%, if it's negative 1.5%, they're going to try to come out and say we can have negative 1.2% or negative 0.9%, something of that manner, right? And if we have that, they can say, hey, we're in a recession, but it's not that crazy because, if you guys can see, gas prices was $5 nationwide. Now it's $4.50. So you guys can see things are transitory, which means we're getting things under control. It's not going to be that bad, blah, blah, and so forth. But again, as I just said, they're saying all this stuff to tell the American people what's going on. They're saying all this stuff to tell the American people, not to worry, don't stress it. But the thing about it is this. You have more and more businesses that's going on hiring freeze, as well as more and more businesses that's starting to lay people off, right? I believe, what was it, GM? I think GM is reporting Ford is reporting to cut back on, I believe it's 800 employees, and their reason is because they're looking for EV, right? They're cutting off employees to move forward with the EV project, which is BS. But again, like it's not to have the people worried about what's going on. So again, like you have Tesla, which did a hiring freeze. They also laid out a lot of workers. Netflix laid off workers. So this is becoming a norm now with business laying off workers. And all of this is happening before the recession is even announced. So just imagine how bad things are going to be once the recession is announced. They also, as I just said, they're looking to raise rates on tomorrow. Well, tomorrow they're looking to raise about 75% basis points, which is 0.75%. So it's either between 100 was on the table. However, they recently took it off, but I think that they're going to maybe put it back on the table. But we're going to see how things play out tomorrow. And they're also raising rates too quickly. And as I said to you guys before, when you raise rates too quickly, it's a negative move. And the reason why, because it's gonna backfire. Like they raised rates to slow down the rise of inflation. However, by doing so, when you do it too quickly, it can backfire because of the fact that now you have all these rates are going up, like mortgage rates are going up. You have student loan repayments are going to go up. All these different loans are going to increase. Now, if loan repayments are increasing and the consumer can't withstand that, that's not beneficial. Why? Because they're now going to be in more debt. And that's what's actually happening right now. All these things are going on without us being in an actual technical recession. And the reason why we're not technically in one is because Thursday GDP didn't get released yet. But once it's released, I mean, it's pretty much set in stone that, we're in a recession. So it's really nothing that can get done. I feel as if what people need to do, and as I tell you guys week after week, regardless if we're in a recession or not, you have to act as if we're in a recession. And the reason why is because, again, I personally feel as if it's going to be worse than 08. I think because we have way more debt now than we did in 08. I think we don't have actual wealth than we did in 08. We have obviously higher inflation. We have higher interest rates. So all these things are pretty much showing that it's going to be worse. The thing about it is that like people are stuck on that. It's not going to be like 08. And then also, like I do see a lot of people. I put up a post yesterday. I had actually shared someone's story, and I screenshotted my comment. And their post was in reference to them saying that it's not going to be a housing market crash. And I think that's just bullshit. I feel like a lot of people, regardless of the type of status that you have as influence, I feel people just read off of data that's presented to us, regardless if it's right or wrong. Right now, this is the thing. You have a lot of influencers who, even people in the news, right, they're wrong majority of the time. However, like they're reading off of data that they're told. So data gets manipulated all the time. So if data gets put out that things are good, then yeah, people are like, yeah, things are good. It's not that bad, right? So they're going to read off of that. And that's not what's really going on. Like things are really bad. Like for starters, you got foreclosure year to over date alone is up over 200%. So it's like, if foreclosures are not good, then what are you saying? So a lot of people's main points is the fact that, borrowers are more dependent, and that's not true either, right? Like at the end of the day, you have inflation's up 9.1%. Yeah, people's pay increase is only up 3.4%. So add with that as well, like inflation is 9.1, your pay increase is only 3.4%. That's like more than almost 3 times a difference right there, how much you're making too much, how much you're gonna spend. And then added to that, you have not everyone, but the average person, the average American's overhead is over $400 per month. So it's like all these things are added to it. It's like, how's that going to happen? And then another thing that's not being discussed is the fact that AT&T earnings that came out, and they actually reported that people aren't paying their it's been chargebacks on people paying their phone bills, right? I'm going to get to why that's important in a second. And then also you have reported that repos have been increasing, as well as auto sales have been decreasing, regardless if it's new or if it's used. Now, this is what it tells you indirectly that people aren't paying attention to, because it's not the data that's showing you, right? You just got to pay attention. So normally when people lose their jobs, or when people find it hard to pay back, like to pay their rent or pay their their mortgage, the first two things that they cut out is they cut out their car payments, and they also cut out their phone bills. And the reason why, because when a consumer understands it, they say to themselves, it makes more sense for me to have a house or roof over my head than for me to have a car, right? So again, that's the reason why repos have been increasing, because they realize that. And then another thing I added to that as well, again, as I just said, if you have repos increasing, you have auto sales decreasing, you also have people paying off their phone bills, that's decreasing as well. Like you have more people who are not paying off their phone bills. That's showing you that these things are not in high demand. Like it's not a good situation that's going on. And then on top of that, you have the fact that people feel as if we have a strong economy, but that's not true, right? Our economy is pretty much just like held up by the Fed with the printing money that we did in 2020. And it's actually very interesting that for some odd reason, they feel as if inflation is what got us here, and they feel as if printing more money is going to make things better, but it's not. It's like it's literally just like if you have a fire going out. So this is what they're doing. There's a fire going on, and they're trying to put the fire out. And they're saying, guys, you know what we need to do? We need to put more gasoline on that fire to put the fire out. And they're like, that's a great idea. Let's get some gasoline, and they're pouring it on it because it's a liquid, right? No, it's not. Not every liquid is used to put a fire out, and this is exactly what's going on with this country. So again, like I think at the time we're recording this, there's 12 states right now that are still doing inflation stimulus checks, and it's just like it's ridiculous. And even Florida too. I'm very surprised about that. But I believe Florida, I believe it's 150 or 350 that they're doing per child toward the stimulus. And again, it's just not a good suggestion. The reason why we're here because we've been spending more money than we have coming in. And that's what's going to make things worse, not by doing that. If you continue that, it's going to make it worse. But again, the reason why politicians do that is because, especially in America, well, by definition, we're not a dictatorship, but that's by definition. I'm not going to get into that either. But yeah, so they're in office for a certain amount of time, right? So they're not in office for a lifetime, for 50 years and so forth. So they understand that. So it's like, you know what? Let me just look good right now, do what I got to do to make myself a great image. And once I'm out of here, the next person who's taking my spot, they can deal with it. So if I make a mess, all right, let me put this mess under the rug. And as soon as my turn is up, let me lift that rug up. And while I'm walking out, now you can see all the messes under the rug. That's what's going on. It's been going on for been longer since Bush Jr. was in office. But that's pretty much who really started this whole situation that we're in. Some people can say that it was less. I mean, it was past that. Like some people push it back to even like Nixon when he took us off the gold standard. That's debatable. However, the reason why I'm saying that it is Bush Jr. was because of the fact that how he bailed out the banks and how we started QE moving forward. So that's the reason why I'm saying that these things happened from George Bush Jr. and then he made it worse. And then Obama came in. Obama made it worse. People don't want to admit that. Trump came in. Trump made it worse. Republicans don't admit that either. And then Biden is just like, Biden's just he's a maniac, man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this guy. He's tripping. But yeah, he's pretty much making things worse than what they are. That's not debatable either. Some people, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, you just gotta like tell the truth what's really going on. But yeah, so continuing what I was saying in reference to that as well, we're dead in a recession. So like you have to. You can't, as I said, you can't wait until they tell us we're in a recession. You have to do what's needed to get yourself in the right predicament, right? Because like, again, as I said to you guys, you got to cut back on spending. That's pretty much like a no-brainer. But besides cutting back on spending, you do need to increase your overhead. You need to increase your cash flow. Decrease your overhead, increase your cash flow. So I have a lot of people who say, they don't have no type of skills or they have no money to learn any type of skills. And the thing about it is this, right? So when it boils down to any skill, you don't need a mentor to learn a new skill, right? Like even trading, you don't need a mentor. Like you don't need me to learn trading. There's a lot of free resources that you can use, like babypips.com is a free resource. However, the difference between a mentor and an actual like Baby Pips or like learning on YouTube is that a mentor can teach you one-on-one hands-on. They give you a blueprint set on how to about moving forward, right? On YouTube or Google or any other free resource, you have pretty much a whole open range of how to go about doing it. So you have one like a mentor, it will decrease the time it's going to take for you to master that skill, get better at that. And YouTube or Google is not going to do that. So I don't want people to feel as if it doesn't matter the type of skill set. You don't have to technically get a mentor to learn that skill set. It just decreases the time it will take you to become more successful within that field or learn that skill set if you have a mentor. So that's something that for a reason a lot of people don't want to admit, and maybe because they want to sell you on their course or sell you some type of service. But the reality is this: like when it boils down to it, and I tell everyone, especially who's trying to work with me, if you want to move forward and decrease the time it will take you to get better at the skill set, master skill set, then work with me as a mentor. But if not, you might as well take the free route, right? And it's just gonna take you longer to get better at it, but it's the option still available. But yeah, I'm saying all that to say this: you gotta learn something, right? Like everything that's going on, you gotta put yourself out there to say to yourself, like, what can I learn right now that's gonna help me move forward, right? First, you gotta, as I say, you gotta lower your overhead. You gotta realize what's really going on with your actual financial situation. I have a financial ebook or financial spreadsheet ebook. You guys can check the link in my bio or click on the description below to check it out as well. It will help you stay on track with your finances, show you how to get out of debt quicker, show you what makes sense to pay off, how to go for savings account, and so forth. Once you have that set, which is your foundation, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you have coming in. If you don't know how much is going out, or if you don't understand how to lower your payments for going out, you're going to stay broke, right? It's just like, it's not just building a mindset of a successful individual. It's more about just like the simple stuff, guys. Like 1 + 1 = 2, right? Like if I have more money, if I have $1,000 coming in per month and I'm spending $1,200 per month, right? I'm spending more than I'm making. In due time, I'm going to be dead broke. It's just like simple math. Like, and we can't ignore that. So you also have like a lot of places or a lot of, memes and stuff. They make jokes or videos in which like they don't understand how like, Apple just came. I'm not Apple, but yeah, like Apple, right? So say like Apple just took like $9.99 out of the account. They was going to use that to, go get something to eat. It's like, you got to know these things. Like that's very, that's irresponsible as an adult. Like you got to know when certain things are coming out. It shouldn't be a shock that July 26th, Apple takes out $9.99 from your account. That's not a shocker. Like if it happens, especially if you have consecutive bills, residual bills, you should have residual income, right? You should have something that's coming out, on a monthly basis. But God, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just simple stuff like that you got to pay attention to and understand what's going on. And I don't understand how people are just like very irresponsible to not even like know that. Like that's you can easily check. Guys, y'all can just do this. Open your phone up, go to your bank account, wherever the money's getting taken out, go to the past history and look at the dates. Look at the dates that these payments are coming out. It happens every month. Like, or just contact them. Hey, when is my due date, right? When is this bill coming out? When is my credit card statement due date? Like, all these things are needed. But it's like, people would rather look, go to these clubs and stuff every single week, look as if their life is lit rather than that doing the thing that's needed to make their life lit. And it's very backwards. I really don't understand that. Like, why would you want to pretend your life is lit? Why not really make your life lit? Like, you can sustain it more. Like, it's simple stuff like that just doesn't make any sense. And I don't give a damn if people are trying to clout chase. It's like, it's more in life than just clout chasing. Like, you don't want to just look good on social media. You gotta look good in person, and you gotta have a life in person as well. And that's what matters most. This social media stuff, it doesn't matter most, right? People do things for likes and stuff, and then, once the host, they close the app, then they go about being fake and shit. And it's like, you're living a miserable life. This is the only life we actually have to live. And if you feel as if it's not miserable, like, I'm not saying, again, like, everyone doesn't have to be a millionaire. Everyone doesn't have to be, like, this great individual when it comes to their finances. I mean, I would prefer you to be that. However, if you're not there, just do the simple stuff, right? Just, like, spend less than you make. Invest your money, have cash flow coming in. Like, these are simple things that's going to help you out when it comes to you get yourself not just out of debt, but just getting yourself to a financial stability that you want to be, especially long term too. Is this life is better when you're making money, and that's just what it boils down to. It's not debatable. Life sucks when you don't make money. So that's just the truth. So you might as well do things that's going to make you or help you to make money rather than doing things that's going to like decrease your cash flow across the board, especially long term. All right, so really quick rant that I just went in real quick though. But as I said, just pretty much like just going off in full circle. We're definitely in a recession. They're gonna announce it on Thursday. It's the only way they announce that it's not a recession is if the new White House definition, which is bullshit. If the new White House definition, if it goes into play and they're saying that we're not in a recession, then that's what it is. By definition, because they switched it. But they do it all the time. Like, even the CDC, right? During the pandemic, they actually changed. During the pandemic, once they got the vaccine or whatever, I probably shouldn't be saying the word, but during the pandemic, once we had the vax and everything, the CDC came out and they actually changed the definition of what a vaccine is. So I was like, fam, how you doing that? Again, it's just about power and about control. So if they're able to do these things, to make themselves look good, they're gonna do it. And that's the reality. That's what these people do. These people are wicked. But you gotta learn how to play the game. You learn how to play the game correctly, and you can do it to make it work out in your favor. If you don't know how to play the game, you don't learn how to play the game, it is gonna be you're gonna be a hamster on a hamster wheel your whole life. And that's the reality of it. And there's more to life than being a hamster on a hamster wheel. Like, you think you're moving forward, you're not really moving forward, right? You look like you're moving forward, but the only thing that's moving forward is your age, right? So don't be that person. Don't be that person. And again, there's nothing wrong with if you enjoy going out, party and all that stuff, getting lit. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to go out and get lit off the strength of, like, you're not really moving forward. Like, if you're just, like, on a hamster wheel, what are you doing? Kind of got dark just now. My whole tone just like pulled down and everything. But yeah, guys, like, you gotta look back at life and say that it's more to life than just like what did you do besides getting lit, right? What did you do? What did you accomplish, right? Travel more, good. Go travel, right? See what the world has to offer. The world is an amazing place. Of how many countries I've been to? I think 13, 14. I think 14. Yeah, go visit different countries, go visit different continents, like different cultures. See what it has to offer. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, again, you also want to put yourself in a predicament to be able to do so, right? Like, going into more debt to travel, it's not cool. And people say that as well. They be like, you make the money back, you won't make the experience back. That's bullshit. Like, that's bullshit. Why would you go into more debt, right, to go travel the world and then come back and now you're in more debt? Like, yeah, you can make the money back, but it's not that simple. Especially, like, majority of people are putting their debt on credit cards. Like, you're not getting that paid off just like this. Especially if you miss a payment, now you got interest that's added to it. So that trip that cost you $2,000 with the interest added, now it's going to cost you like $2,500. So little stuff like that as well continues added up. So you got to put that into perspective when you're doing these things as well. Like, at the end of the day, you have to have a good financial foundation. Once you have a good financial foundation, you can build on that. But if you don't have a good financial foundation, it's difficult to build on it. So another example is just like, let's say if you're building a house, right? Let's say you're building a house, and the first thing you do is build your foundation, right? Put your cement down and so forth. Now, just imagine how shit would be if you put the cement down, right? Or, you build everything up, you put the cement down, and before the cement is dry, you start building things up, right? You don't check to see if it's level, you just keep building. Put a little cement here, build on it. When everything is dried up and full, that's not going to be a stable house, right? The foundation is not good. The cement, everything is lopsided. So if everything being lopsided, it's like you wouldn't want to live there. So you got to think of your financial situation in that same sense of that type of house, right? Would you want to live in a house that's unleveled? Would you want to live in a house that's like cramped in and it's no space? You really can't move around. It look as if things is going to fall apart. No, you don't want to live in that type of house. You want to live in a house that's stable. So think of financial situation the same exact way. Let me get myself stable enough to go out and then from there I can build on it. And I'm telling y'all right now, y'all not missing nothing by being outside. It's the same shit, different people, literally every single week that people do. So you're not missing nothing. It makes sense for you to not go out, even if it's for like a month or two, right? Don't go out for a month or two. Get yourself together, or regardless how long it takes you. And then once you're situated, then you can move forward. And the thing is that a lot of people are like, summertime, I gotta be lit and I gotta go enjoy myself. Like, but at what cost though, right? Like, you get into more debt, is that really enjoying yourself? Like, you doing things that's not gonna move yourself forward, is that really enjoying yourself? No, it's not, right? Like, for the moment, it looks good, but in the future, it's not good, right? Like, it's just like Jay-Z says, you got flash now, but time reveal money. So it's like, you don't wanna have flash now and time reveal. You wanna have flash now, flash later, flash whenever. That's what you want to have. But again, you do that by building your foundation. And that takes time as well. It's not going to happen overnight. So even with these skill sets, y'all learning these things, and let's say you don't master it tomorrow, it's all right. Like, you're not going to master it tomorrow. And I'm not just talking about trading. I'm talking about any type of skill set. You're not going to learn it in one day. You're not going to learn it in 1 week, right? It's going to take time. Well, let me not say that. You can learn it, but get better at that is different. right? Getting better at that skill set requires you to continuously put time into that. And then another thing as well, some people like to speed their process up. But at the end of the day, to speed your process up, all you have to do is increase the time that you're putting into learning that skill set. So if you're spending 5 hours per week, to learn that skill set, add an extra hour per day, right? Or an extra hour in general, or 5 hours, right? Do 10 hours per week, right? Or 15 hours per week. Obviously, the more hours you put into it, the better you're going to learn that craft. And it's not even just about like learn that craft because, just like Madam Gladwell said, I got to make a video about this. I keep saying that I'm going to do it. Just like he said, the average individual, it takes them 10,000 hours to learn the skills. Or master skill. I don't think that's true. I think that's BS. I think there's plenty of things that fall in line to it. So for starters, everyone that doesn't have, they don't learn the same speed or same pace, right? So you got to factor in that. Also factor in, let's say if you put in 8,000 hours to learn something the wrong way compared to somebody, you put 8,000 hours into a skill set and then you put 2,000 hours into it. Those 8,000 hours you put into it, you learned it the wrong way. Those 2,000 hours you put into it, you learned the right way. So technically, you only have 2,000 hours of the right way to go about doing so, right? But again, we don't look at it that way. We look at it as if we just put 10,000 hours across the board. And that's the reason why you have some people who are, they're doing a particular skill set or learning the same craft. One has been doing it for a few months. One has been doing it for a few years. The person doing it for a few months, they're way ahead of that person, and the person doing it for a few years. And again, that also boils down to mentorship as well. Right? You have the right mentor, you're going to elevate yourself, especially when you listen and follow the blueprint. Oh wow, 7:33. Guys, got any questions before we wrap up? I didn't want to be on here crazy long. 7:33 is not that bad. But yeah, you guys got any questions that you're asking me? See your chat real quick. They got anything in here? Another thing as well, guys, my Ethereum challenge in my Discord is still active. The challenge ends on Thursday, in which I'll be giving away one ETH or one Ethereum coin, regardless of what the price is. We may have a drop, we may have a rise. But if you guys are interested in entering that challenge, you can join my Discord, and all the what's needed to actually win is in my Discord. But any question that you guys have for me. And remember, guys, it is GDP going to be released on Thursday. Be aware of that. For my traders out there, you guys already see it's a volatile week. It's going to be even more volatile, especially with the Fed coming out tomorrow. More likely, we may have a nice little drop before that happens. We may have a little consolidation, and then over that, we may have a huge rise once Powell comes out and say that we're going to raise rates by 75%. Well, I'm sorry, 0.75%. And then on Thursday, I feel we're going to have a crazy-ass drop. But that also boils down to how they change things, but we're on track to have a crazy drop. All right, there's no questions here, guys. So I appreciate everyone who stuck around, joined me throughout the whole live. I'm going to have this on YouTube for those who missed it. Until next Tuesday, guys. Peace out.